So I read Heartless. Welcome back. First of all, welcome back everyone.
Hi. What's stone?
The stone. If I didn't want to like wring someone's neck every 5 minutes.
I don't know. He's magical.
This is magical fantasy land. It's luscious and flowing. Why you got guy liner?
Because he is tall, skinny, platinum blonde hair. Homie, I'm gonna drown myself in a bathtub. Quadruple POV. It's just black. Because he died. Boo. Don't lock him up. And then they shove in this shrimpy blonde man. Cuckoo crazy. This book is just... Are we blind? Your sister's boyfriend is the guy we're hunting?
Hold on, let's address something first, huh? So I read Heartless. It was
Also, I have my little friend. Because he's the white rabbit.
Hello. I did and didn't like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I was really frustrated while reading it. Like, I would say it's really well written.
Mm-hmm.
I like the perspective of like a prequel almost to like Alice in Wonderland. I thought that was so interesting. But like, if I didn't want to like wring someone's neck every 5 minutes, it took me so long to get through because I just think I was like so frustrated with it.
Yeah.
And there's like a lot of characters to read. Like, I read The Road Not Taken in like literally a day, but like this one took me like 2 weeks to get through, and because I could only read like 50 pages at a time. I don't know why, but I was just really frustrated because like I feel like Kath in her head was so like determined and outgoing and like how like was just like strong-willed.
Yeah.
But all of her actions were like dumb, like so dumb. Like she always like quote unquote like made the wrong choice. And not that there's like a wrong choice, like obviously it got her to like where she was, but it was just like it just pissed me off because it was like, why did you walk through that door? Like, you shouldn't have done that.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't do you any good in the end. And everyone told you what was going to happen and you still did it.
Yeah. I'm trying to get my review up so I can look at it.
Also, I was waiting for her to behead the king. I was like, marry him, behead him, you're the queen, leave it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know.
I mean, I think we need the king there, just in like Alice in Wonderland terms, because he is there.
In the... No, but like, is he in the other book? Like in like Alice in Wonderland, like the movie and stuff?
He's in the cartoon. I haven't seen the Tim Burton one in a long time, which is more based on the Lewis Carroll, which is this is based on the actual like Lewis Carroll book. Alice in Wonderland. Mm-hmm. This one is so pretty, by the way. The white. Anyway,
it's really nice.
I like this.
I read it on my Kindle, so
the main one is black. I think it's like a black with the red vines. But what was I gonna say? Yes, I like read your review and like I feel like you got it where it's like I liked the story. It's just Kath is always making the wrong decision, but it's her fate. Like it's fate. You can't change it. Like that's gonna happen. There's the raven. No, the martyr, the murder, the monarch, and the mad.
Yeah,
like it's gonna happen. And
but
and it was heartbreaking. I wrote like in the third act, like seeing Kath's like kind of, she just kind of explodes and goes mad is so similar to Snow in Ballad of Songbirds. It's just like this insane, I'm so upset, and I will do anything to anyone who crosses my path because fuck you, I'm miserable.
Yeah. It kind of pissed me off because it did that thing that like happened in the Wicked King series where it's just like, and now I'm evil. Like, I understand. We've been here the whole book. I know why you're upset. I know why you like have this change of heart. But I feel like she just was like, and now I'll kill anyone who stands in my path. Like, I just wanted her to have like a little bit of inner monologue being like, I'm so heartbroken. Like, I feel torn apart. and then we
Mm-hmm.
can move on. Like literally like a paragraph or two that's like the chain, like that click in her head, and not just her being like, and now you're dead to me. Like,
Yeah. I think she was just so like torn apart that like I think the author just wanted us to like click that in place for ourselves. But I
and
like when
well,
it's done through the character.
I like when they say it when they're like, I feel like my world's falling apart and like blah blah,
Right.
and it's like literally two paragraphs, and
Yeah,
so
come
many
on.
authors don't do that, and it
Mm-hmm.
because like I know I get it, I'm feeling the emotion, but like
Yeah. Come on.
whatever.
Give me something.
I also really did want her to go through the looking glass. I'm like, what's it like over there? What's
Yeah.
over there? I
Come
want
on.
to know.
Uh, I think you should watch Alice in Wonderland.
I think I need to rewatch Tim Burton's movie.
Yeah.
I feel like that would really
I
fulfill what I'm missing right now.
mm-hmm. Finding out that Jess was a rook, like he's a chess piece. I was like, oh, it's
I did like that.
happening.
But
I
I
just
was
love
still
that world.
confused. Like, it,
Oh.
was he like sinking into the ground and then like moving and then popping back up? Like, I don't understand what these like stone things were.
No, they don't move like that. Like they don't move like chess pieces. They just are. Like,
They're not like teleporting.
mm. Oh my god, I need to show you this fan art that I found for this book.
Oh, I need to see it.
It. Oh my god. Oh my god. Anyway, I don't think they. I read this in December of
That was a
2023,
while
so
ago,
it's
yeah.
been a minute. But yeah, they don't like pop out of the ground. But
Well,
I
they're like
just
the stone.
what stone?
The stone.
Maybe I'm forgetting.
She's like, I see these. He like picks her up and she's like, I see like the stone walls rising around us. Like, I literally think stone comes out of the ground.
Oh, are you talking about like the maze?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like
I'm
this
stoked.
stone like circle comes around him.
Oh! I know exactly what you're talking about. When he gets her away when they're at the theater, the opera, away from the
Yeah.
Jabberwock.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah,
does
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
twice.
He can use
Is that a
like magical
is
powers.
yeah, but like is that moving?
I don't think so. I think it
Like
like
does it just swallow
yeah, I think it's just like and they're gone. I don't know. He is magical.
That's a great question.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'll send it to you, but like look at them.
Oh,
I love them. I'm sending
amazing.
it to you right now.
I hated how she's like every time he took off his hat, his hair was matted. I was like, it don't.
Ew,
This
ew,
is
ew.
magical fantasy land. It's luscious and flowing.
I was like, okay, so he's sweaty.
Why would you say that?
I
Thought we
just
don't
sent it
sweat
to
in
you.
this realm.
Yeah. Like, look at them.
Also, why he got guy liner?
Because he's a joker.
I think I'm not really understanding this.
He is a joker. He's a jester. I love him. He is wonderful. And I'm so sad for her. Because all she wanted to do was be in love and bake her treats. Girl, me too.
You should have had more than one kid. That's your fault.
Yeah.
Like
Her parents.
duh.
Yeah. Oh.
I got really pissed. Well, I liked this line, but like I totally like I felt her anger when she was like literally walking down to like go marry the king, and her parents like come up to like escort her, and her father's like, "You don't have to do this if you don't want to," and she's like, "And you didn't think to ask me this months ago?"
Yeah. Come on now.
She's like, no, we tried this. You didn't want to do that.
She's like, I'm miserable. There's nothing else left for me. Why not marry the king? You know?
Well, so I started looking at this author's books because I was like curious. So there's no other like quote unquote books like this, but she does have like another series called Cinder, which I think came out when we were in like high school.
The this was big with the middle schoolers at my school that I
Yes,
work
I
at.
like so vividly remember this like copy, like this cover of like the
Mm-hmm.
thing, but she doesn't really have anything else kind of like fantasy reworking.
I have a comment.
Yes.
Remember when I read Rumple?
She did that.
She did write Rumple.
I did see that, yeah. But like I thought she was
Um,
gonna have like all of these fairy tales that she reworked, but she only has
I wish
two,
she
and then
did.
she has like the Cinderella like series.
I wish she did more like this because this was really good. Um, and like I love a prequel. And I love a prequel. Like Ballad of Songbirds is like the perfect example of like
Yeah.
we understand the Hunger Games, we know what's gonna happen, but like
But
how
here's
do
how
we
we
get
got here.
yeah, and I just like loved seeing the Queen of Hearts like why is she like that? Why does she say off with your head? Like,
Ah, yeah, I loved that too.
you know, why is she like we can't you have to paint the roses red, they can't be white because Jess would leave her white roses. Like
Yeah, but
rocking back and forth in my enclosure. Like, oh my god.
what I find so interesting is that like this isn't like the original author of Alice in Wonderland's like prequel.
Yeah.
Like someone just came in and wrote this. So, but I do like that because I think I read her like acknowledgement or her as like author's note in the end that was like
Yeah.
talking about like how she had all these like references and like the metaphor about the raven and like
Mm-hmm.
how like Carol didn't originally like write that with an answer, but then like gave one when everyone like asked him about it later. And I don't know. I thought it was just
It was
well done.
very
Like I did
interesting.
love the author and I loved her vision, but I also feel like it was like a little long, maybe like
Why
I
is
don't
there fan
know.
art in the back of the book? Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
But I
they're
did. I
not as
was
cute
while
as
I
the
was
other ones.
researching the like her books and stuff. I went and looked back at that Almost There book
Oh
that like,
yes. Did I
and
say
I
you?
looked
Yeah.
through her like not discography, but like basically like her like all the books she's written, and she like writes them in tandem with like Disney's permission,
Yep.
which I
She
guess would be
yeah.
the only way because like they literally are like the characters. But she has
She's a
16
ton.
books in that series.
Mm-hmm.
That's like Hercules,
Yeah.
Ariel,
The Hercules one
Merida.
sounds good.
It does, and Tiana, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like a reworking of their story if like something bad or different happened. Almost they're like kind of dark, and then she has villains. I think she's like a
Mm-hmm.
set of 4 villains, which is cool. And I was like, I didn't realize this was such a big market, like this like
Yeah.
fairy tale retelling,
Yeah. It's huge.
because it's like fantasy but not because it's like a fairy tale.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. I don't know.
Like I would want to read one of them just to see what it's like, honestly. Because I felt like this Heartless is so different from those like from like the Tiana book, let's say.
Because it's not a retelling, it's a prequel.
Yeah.
But
But
I don't know. Part of me like doesn't want to read. Like part of me doesn't want to read the Tiana one because like I love that story so much. But I would read something else I'm not as like attached to. Maybe
yeah.
I don't know. It's just curious, and I'm surprised Disney lets. I think the Yard people are here. Disney lets someone like do that to their brand.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean if
I
they
don't
can
know.
make
It's just
money.
interesting. I'm sure they like heavily like edit them.
I'm sure. I'm sure they make sure nothing is being like tarnished or
You know. I don't know. Well, now we've discussed that. I want to hear about Vicious and then how that ended.
it was so good. Like I went into the book because I was like, it sounds interesting. And Lucy sent me a TikTok of this girl on what's her name on Book Talk?
With the brown hair.
Yeah, Heather. I think her name's Heather.
Oh, I love her.
I love her. She's hilarious. and she
She's so
gets it.
funny.
But Lucy sent me this video of this girl being like, okay, so I picked up this book and I'm like 5 chapters into it. And usually I don't do this because I like to, imagine the characters for myself, like how the author like wrote them. But something compelled me to look up the fan art for this book. And she did for the main character. His name is Victor.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God. He is tall, skinny, platinum blonde hair. And you don't think I'm going to pick the book up? Like, be so fucking for real.
God.
I'm going to pick the book up because and I'll put some fan art up because also insert the fan art because damn, hold on. I cannot type with one hand. But anyway, so I was like, you know what? I read the plot summary. Okay, this isn't fan art. This is just a photo. Hello? He doesn't have glasses, but that's actually him. Like sorry. He look at him. He's like fan art Draco. Like these they're the same images. Sorry, one day I'll stop talking about that.
It never.
See, I clicked this. I clicked this and then I scrolled down and there's Hermione fan art.
Well, don't mind if I do.
Well, okay, well, hang on. We might need to take a break. But anyway. Also, look how cool this cover is. Like,
it's cool.
It's so epic.
I think I've finally given into like, I'm just gonna own a library. Like, I want to, like, I sent Rachel a video a while ago that was like, oh, how many books? It was this lady, she was counting all of her books because to have a personal library, you only have to have like 1,000 books or something to be considered like a library. And I was like, I have a new mission in life.
Sorry,
I'll shut up now.
It's just I'm just in the fan art, just fan art in. This one's so good. It's Draco.
Ooh,
sorry.
Send that to me.
That's good. Download image. Anyway, what I was talking about this. So
yes.
This story, I've never read a V.E. Schwab book, but I might read another because this writing was spectacular. And this is a book that like doesn't have any romance, doesn't have like a romance subplot, like it's not important. Mm-hmm. It's about these 2 college roommates, Victor and Eli. And they are like kind of, they're really smart. But they're kind of like lonely and like outcasts like at the university they go to because they're just like really smart. Victor like wants to be a doctor.
Yeah.
He has a terrible relationship with his parents. Like he has the setup for an amazing villain. Like and that's what he is. But they meet in college. They're in their like senior research class. And they share this interest on the idea of adrenaline. And then Eli's like, oh, well, I'm going to do my thesis on EOs. EOs are extraordinaries, which is what they're calling superheroes and villain, like, kind of like a Superman. How did Superman get his powers? Like, how is he a superhero? And the professor's like, okay, just like don't make it weird and cheesy, but like if you want to focus on like adrenaline and all that kind of stuff, like go for it because this is like medical class. So Victor is then like, oh well, I'm gonna steal Eli's idea because that idea is really good. So they decide to like work together on this thesis because Victor is like, he's always kind of been jealous and like charmed by Eli because Eli's very like, I can get away with anything because I'm like pretty and everyone loves me. All I have to do is like flash a smile, and like if I'm running late to class, I just have to like wink at the professor, like, you know. And Victor's the hotter one, arguably. But like the whole thing about Eli's like, oh, he doesn't even look a day over like 20. Like he always like looks really young, and like, okay, kind of sussed out by Eli. He's kind of weird. And Victor's like, well, this is a great idea. I'm going to jump on that, and it's going to become our project. So then they're researching, and they reveal like that under the right conditions, someone could develop these extraordinary superhero abilities. But all it takes is enough adrenaline and a near-death experience. Because Eli was researching into people who have these like extraordinary powers, and they've all almost died, or some of them have died and been like resuscitated. So then these two idiot college boys decide to create near-death experiences for themselves. So one night Eli's like, homie, I'm gonna drown myself in a bathtub, like in an ice cold bathtub. He's gonna do the ASL ice bucket challenge. And Victor, you're gonna go get some EpiPens at the hospital that you volunteer at sometimes. So you can like revive me.
Of those.
So you can revive me when you pull me out of the tub in their college apartment. This is like in their college apartment. Like normal activities.
Like being called as the RA. I know they don't live in a dorm, but like being called as an RA and being like, so we had this idea and it didn't work out.
So, Victor like pulls him out of the tub and is like, the limit is 3 EpiPens, and he gets to the 3rd.
Oh, is there a limit?
Yeah.
Oh, noted.
So he gets to the 3rd, boom, stabs him, and then it's like the like movie moment where it's like,
yeah, and he's like coughing up water.
Yeah. So then he's like, dude, you died. And I just brought you back with these EpiPens. And he's like, I know. And Victor's like, do you feel different? And Eli's like, I'm not sure. And then we figure out later that Eli now has the power of regeneration. So if he stabs himself or someone stabs him, his like hand can like, and we figure that out because he tests it out. He's like,
how many buildings is he throwing himself off of?
He's like, I feel different. And then Victor's like, fuck, I'm jealous. I want to be a superhero too, you know? So Victor has this dumb idea. Yeah.
Does the way you like quote unquote like die or this experience like affect what power you're gonna get?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
But
sorry, I'll shut up.
Basically, no. So basically, they figure out much later that it does like your personality and your wants and desires will like it'll infiltrate like what power you're given.
Okay.
And part of Eli's regeneration power is that he doesn't age. As noted, Eli's always been like, he's always looked young. But anyway. Also, this book is not linear, which is amazing. It jumps between like 2 days ago, present day, 10 years ago. All the 10 years ago is it's so good though. And it's almost like a not even dual POV. It's almost like quadruple POV.
Oh god, yeah.
But it doesn't tell you that. It just kind of like, because it says like Victor walked to class. Like it's not in anyone's dialogue, but like it's not in anyone's voice. But anyway, Victor's like, well, fuck, I want superpowers too, bro. Like that's unfair. Yeah. Like, and then Eli's like, dude, like, no, we shouldn't try. Like, we shouldn't tempt God like that. Eli's very like, oh, like, he's like, my life's in God's hands. He's not Southern, but like,
but you killed yourself and brought yourself back. So I don't think it is.
Like, and Victor's like, dude, you're playing God. Like, this isn't in
True.
God's hands. Like, you're playing God. And Victor's like, okay, him and his God thing is really weird. So Victor is like, it's my turn. So I'm going to go to a party. I'm going to do hella lines of coke, and you're going to resuscitate me, homie. And I'm like, yes!
I don't think that'd be my choice of death.
Well, he's just trying to figure out, like, what's, like, an easy way that
But
I
I
can
feel
be
like
like,
your heart would explode, like literally, and you can't fix that.
well, thankfully he doesn't do the coke because Eli shows up at the party that he's at, and he's like, dude, you're not doing this. Like, I already told you, like, just because it worked once for me doesn't mean it's going to work again. Like, we don't know. Like, I don't want you killing yourself. So he's like, oh, fine. Fuck you. So he leaves. He calls Eli's girlfriend, who he's, like, secretly been in love with this whole time.
Oh.
Don't know why the girl would choose Eli, but that's fine. That's neither here nor there. But he's like, you have to help me with something. And she's like, but Victor and this girl were friends before, so it's not weird that they're hanging out.
Okay.
It's weird, but
I'm with you.
they're like, you, lady, need to get me into the, like, science labs, and you need to strap me to, like, the fucking electric chair.
I feel like he's choosing all of the worst ways to die.
Because he's crazy. Because Victor is like, so I need to be, like, better. One, I need to be better than everyone. Two, I need to be better than Eli, obviously. But it's all okay, and I will accept his actions because he is.
I just feel like he's picking just
picking
like
the worst way
options of death that are like not resuscitatable.
So
I digress.
I don't know why she agrees to help him with this.
Couldn't be me.
Because, like, her thing, like, her, like, major, I guess, this is, like, a very scientific school. Her stuff is, like, electricity and, like, all that, you know, that's what she wants to, like, study. So she's like, all right, crazy blonde man, I'll strap you to this chair.
Sure.
So then they're, like, turning up the volts, like, each time, and Victor's like, I'm gonna fucking, like, die. Like, he's like, you know, he's basically electrocuting himself.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like that chapter ends with, like, it's just black because he died.
Oh,
but then somehow he comes back to life, but she's dead, Eli's girlfriend, and he killed her because Victor's power now is, like, he has this, like, hum of electricity. Like, he can take away and give pain. You know, in Twilight,
yes,
what's her name? Dakota Fanning. She goes, pain. That's basically Victor's powers. He can, like, take and give pain. Like, he can take away pain, or he can, which goes along with
it's
his,
like electricity.
It's not electricity. Like, he doesn't, like, shoot electricity out of his fingers like the Emperor. He just has this, like, hum of, like,
okay,
like,
wait, so how did he kill her? Because he was like, he didn't know.
He, like, touched her, and he didn't know he had a power, and that's kind of how we figured it out.
It's kind of impressive that this worked on the first try.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, no way. So Lucy, come over, and I'm gonna drown in my hot tub.
We don't live in that universe. I also think I would about have a panic attack and also a heart attack if I saw one of my friends do that, and they'd be like, and you have to bring me back. I'd be like, no, we're not making it out of this together.
So I'm explaining this, like, linearly. Like, I'm explaining this how it would happen in time, but it's not. We keep flashing back and forth. So that is something to keep in mind, because while we're kind of learning the story through Victor present day, who's trying to hunt Eli. He's trying to find him and kill him because he's like, Eli fucking ruined my life. Eli sent me to prison, because Victor does go to prison for the murder of Eli's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Even though Victor was like, well, now we're gonna work together. Like, sorry I killed your girl, but, like, we're superheroes now, bro. Like, isn't that cool? But Victor just turns on him and goes crazy because the cops pull up at the crime scene to where he killed the girl, and they like took him in for questioning because Eli called the cops, obviously.
I'm not surprised.
So then Victor's talking to the detective at the station and is like, okay, you don't have superpowers. So this didn't like, you weren't there, like this was an accident. All right, buddy. Like, so then Victor goes back to the apartment, has a gun, and is like, how fucking dare you? I thought you were my best friend.
Oh,
And now you're turning me into the cops? And he's like
a
shooting at him.
murderer.
He's shooting at him, but he can't do anything because Eli can just regenerate whatever like
Oh.
happens to him. He's like,
Interesting parallel.
and he's like trying to stab him like with his knives. And then Eli gets a gun and shoots Victor.
I'm following.
And Victor's not going to die. He can't regenerate himself per se, but he can like kind of take the pain out from his own power. But then like, you know, Victor goes to jail. Boo, don't lock him up. But they put him in solitary because they're like, this guy's
He can't touch anyone.
insane.
Yeah.
He can. He learns to control his power.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And I'm like, oh my god. Put your hands on me. Like I don't know. Like,
So what happens when he gets out? Escapes?
he escapes from prison with his cellmate,
Okay.
Mitch.
Oh, okay. So he met someone.
Yeah, so he met a buddy.
He has a bestie.
And Mitch is like, it kind of actually like further into the book, we get like a little bit of Mitch's POV on meeting Victor for the first time. And they're like, hey, so this is your new cell. Like the guards are like, this is your new cellmate. And then they shove in this shrimpy blonde man. And Mitch is like, oh, he's going to die. Like they're going to eat him alive.
Oh,
but actually,
no.
But actually everyone stays away from Victor because he has this like thrumming, like, oh my God, stay away from that guy. Like, and Victor will just give you a look and he's like, get the fuck away from me. Because he's so badass. And then Mitch is like, I might as well stick around this guy because I'll protect him, he'll protect me. Besties for life. Then they escape prison.
Yeah.
And Victor's like, you're going to help me find Eli. And Mitch is like, who the fuck Eli? And then we get into this, like, goes back in time and explains what's going on. It's wonderful. Then they're on the side of the road driving to where this, like, this town, like, county that they think Eli will be in. And there's this little girl on the side of the road, this little blonde girl. And they're like, oh, what? You want to get in the car? And this girl's like holding her arm that's like bleeding. And they're like, so what the fuck happened to you? And Mitch is like a lot nicer. And Victor's like, he's, you know, grumpy. And so then we meet Sydney. And I'm like following along with the plot. Yes, so we meet Sydney. And we're like, okay, who is this little girl?
Yeah.
She said, like, my girlfriend's boyfriend shot me in the woods. And they're like, what the hell's going on?
So elaborate on that, queen.
So, yeah, they're like, little girl. So they pull up to this hotel. And that's where they're, like, stationed. This, like, random, like, nice hotel.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's a long story. But it's good.
I'm not tired. I'm just, like, yawning for some reason.
So yeah, they find Sydney, they pull up to the hotel, and Victor's like, I'm gonna do something to make it so your arm doesn't hurt, little girl. And he's like basically taking the pain out of her arm. And she's like, oh my God, how did you do that? And she's like, that was crazy. And Victor's like, well, that's a story for another time. He's like, I was gonna be a doctor. And she goes, oh, like a real doctor? He goes, oh, well, not anymore. I just escaped from prison.
Yeah.
And she's like,
They'll still
okay.
let you practice being a doctor if you've been to prison.
She's like, okay.
Maybe.
But she's like kind of freaked out because she's like, who are these random people? What's going on?
I know I agreed to get in the car, but why am I here?
Yeah. And then we kind of dive into Sydney and who she is as a little 12-year-old. And it's so, oh my God. Victor and Sydney's relationship is adorable, I think. It's very like, not father-daughter, but it's like, I don't know. It's just, it's very sweet.
Like older
like,
brother.
Oh my God. It's like, oh my God, he's good with kids.
Oh.
He's a villain. He's a murderer. Like,
he's a murderer, but he's kind of cute though.
But he's kind of cute though. So Victor's like, okay, team, we're gonna kill my friend or my ex-friend. And they're like,
wait.
They're like, okay. But we find out, one, that Sydney and her sister Serena are also EOs, also have powers. Because they had a near-death experience. So her sister, Sydney's sister Serena, is cuckoo crazy. Like, manipulative, so mean to her little sister. And Sydney's 12, and Serena's like 19, 20. Like, she's in college.
Mm-hmm.
So she comes back, or no, Serena's like, Sydney, like, come visit me, like, for your birthday, like, at school, like, you know, you can meet, like, I want you to meet someone. And we're like, okay, like, maybe a friend or a boyfriend, like, you know, but we're like, this is weird, like, why are you having your 12-year-old sister, like, come visit, like, it's just, like, alone, like, without her parents. And the year before this, Sydney and her sister go on a picnic, because every year they'd go on like a little spring picnic, but they had to go at a different time this year because Serena was going to school. She's going to college.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a picnic on a frozen lake. The frozen lake breaks. They fall into the frozen lake. They drown. They get resuscitated at the hospital. They have powers.
Are we dumb?
This book is just, are we blind?
Like, in what world did we think that'd work for us?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, moving on. What are their powers?
So we find out. So Serena's like, I'm going to leave the hospital. And Sydney's like, you can't do that. Like, they said we had to stay for like monitoring our vitals because they're like, they drowned in a frozen river.
Yeah.
And like, Sydney's like not doing well. So they have to keep her longer. But they're like, they let Serena go. Red flag. We find out later that Serena's power is mind control. She can make you do whatever. Like, slay, girl. So it's like, it kind of goes along with her manipulative personality from before. It's how we get our powers.
Mm-hmm.
So they're a year later, like, Sydney's out of the hospital and Serena's like, come visit me, like, in college. I want you to meet someone. She gets to Serena's apartment and Serena's like, this is my boyfriend Eli, the roommate, Victor's old roommate. Dun dun dun.
But wouldn't he be so much older than her at this point?
Yes, but he doesn't look older because
I forgot.
So he plays that he's like in college with her.
Grown ass man. That's weird.
He's a grown ass man.
Who's the villain now?
He's like 33, and she's like 20.
So then what? So now what?
So then we're like,
and scared.
So it goes back because Victor's like, bro, Sydney, like, tell me, like, why did we find you on the side of the road with your arm like bleeding? So this is when we get Sydney's backstory and Serena and all of them. So she's like, yeah, so I went to go visit my sister and meet her boyfriend, and Victor's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Your sister's boyfriend is the guy we're hunting?
He's
He's
like, you
like,
know him?
And who do I see as soon as I walk into the club? Abby Lee Miller. So her sister is like, we're gonna go out and like play. I don't know. They're gonna go like have a picnic.
Oh, no, and I would never go on a picnic again.
But they go to this like woods that's like kind of near like campus. Um
Stop
and
going to these weird locations.
and Eli was like, Sydney, like your sister was telling me all about your like really cool ability. And Sydney's like, what do you mean, what ability? Because she's like, I didn't think we were supposed to tell anyone, sis. Like, I thought this was supposed to be under wraps.
Wait, so do
And then
people like not tell each other when they have abilities, or is it
it's kind of like,
you get
we don't talk about it.
treated? Okay.
Well, now you don't want to tell anyone about your abilities because you are like, okay, Sydney uses her mind control powers. No, Serena uses her mind control powers on her sister to be like, tell him your ability. Because Serena thinks that Eli's going to create this like army of superheroes and like they're going to fight crime together. So it's like, come on, don't you want to join our crime fighting league? No. So they're like, we're going to bring you out into the woods, and Sydney, you're going to show us your power. And Eli pulls a dead body out of the woods. And he's like, show me your power, do it. Sydney's power is resuscitating the dead.
Oh!
And she's like, you brought a dead body to the like I'm not
She's
doing
like,
that.
where did you get that? Hold on, let's address something first, huh?
No, she goes, so where did you get that? And he goes, just the morgue. Homie, you're robbing a morgue?
Okay, grave robber,
There's some grave robbing in this. It starts actually off the book. The first chapter is Victor digging up a grave.
great.
Anyway, back to Sydney. So she's like, okay, because she's like freaked out because her sister's like, do it. So she resuscitates this dead body, and then Eli goes, shoots the guy. And she goes, what the fuck? You just did. And then he aims the gun at her, the little girl, because
I'm 12.
He's like, I have to kill you. Sorry, I have to kill all the superheroes. Because we find out now that Eli's mission is killing all of these not extraterrestrials, those are aliens, the EOs.
Yeah.
He's killing all the superheroes because he's like, they go against God. But we find out that he has made a loophole for himself because he's like, well, my power's like good. Because it's regeneration. It only
benefits you. Also, you're the only one who like actually killed themselves on purpose. A lot of these people are like, it's an accident.
Well, a lot of these people we find out were in the military, or like were in a car accident. Like one of the people
they didn't
that we meet,
try.
One of the people we meet was in like a bomb explosion. He didn't go into he was in the military. Anyway. So we find out that Victor wants to eradicate all of these EOs, only the ones that have powers that are like damning to God. So it's like Sydney's power is seen as like damning because it's like you're bringing people back from the dead. And she's like, I don't go around doing that. But
she's he shoots her in this has never come up before, actually.
But he shoots her in the arm, and then she's like hobbling out on the side of the road, and that's when Victor finds her.
Then we pick up here. Okay, then what?
Then Victor just does some like hot and sexy things, and like it's just like the way he exists like is just so like nonchalant. But they're out one day, and he's like, well, let me buy you a hot chocolate. So cute. Because he's like, thank you for giving me all this information on your sister who was clearly controlling Eli and where Eli is. And now we know Eli is in the correct town. So he's like, I'll buy you a hot chocolate.
Okay.
But first I want to see your powers. He's like, I'll get you a sweet treat if you show me your powers. So they're
She's like, we
walking.
just went through this.
She's like, can you believe me, sir? But they're like walking through town, and there's like this alley, and there's a dog. There's like a stray dog in the alley, and it's like, oh, and like her Sydney's like, oh my god, this dog is so cute. Like, can we keep him? And Victor's like, sure, we can keep him. Kills the dog. And now he's like, bring it back to life.
You can keep it if you can bring it back to life.
He's like, you can keep it if you can bring it back and you're not lying to me. So she brings the dog back to life. And now they have this big black, like, Great Dane.
How is that a stray?
I don't know.
I digress.
So they keep the dog. So now it's tall blonde man, little girl, big dog, but cellmate Mitch, who's like this like big kind of like ex-con like kind of guy.
Yeah, Mitch is like, I'm chilling like back here.
He loves chocolate milk. He's just a sweetie. I love him, but he also has a buzz cut. Like he's so, but all the crimes that like he went to jail for, like he never actually like committed. People just framed him because he was like big tattoo, like tough guy. And I was like, oh my god.
No, he's just misunderstood.
Him. Yeah, but he's a really good hacker. Like he's like a coder.
Slay.
So he helps Victor obviously in that way of like pinpointing locations and whatnot. So then they see that. So he's like, okay, how about that hot chocolate now? And they go get a hot chocolate. It's so cute. And then we jump over to like Serena's point of view on how she met Eli, because Eli was hunting her to kill her because her power is also seen as bad. But then she's like, you're not going to kill me today. I'm so pretty. Like, like you like me. They have like a weird relationship where they like are dating and they like hook up, and it's weird. So that's the romance in this book.
That's layered.
Very layered. But we see that like Victor finds this newspaper that mentions Eli and how he's like a hero because he helped stop this like bank robbery, because the guy who was robbing the bank has like the superpowers. So then we cut back to the beginning of the book where Victor and Sydney are digging up a grave. The grave of the guy. The grave of the guy who robbed the bank.
Oh, okay.
Because Victor's like, we're going to send a message to Eli, and this guy's going to rob the bank again. And because Eli's going to know if this guy's back from the dead, it's Sydney, because who else can do that? And Victor's going to like leave a note. And the note was a little drawing of him and Sydney holding hands. And he goes, the note says, I made a friend. Oh, it's not cute. It's not cute at all, but it's adorable that he drew a little picture. So there's a whole bunch of fan art of like that, like note that he it's really cute. And so then Eli's like, fuck. My crazy roommate is back. He escaped from prison. And he has your weird sister. He's like talking to, and she's like, it's okay. We'll get the detectives and the cops on it. Like they'll find him. Don't worry. And then she invites the cops to their apartment, and it's the cop that was like that hunts EOs. That's like not hunts like the same way Victor does, but like he's like the head detective for like the superhero people.
Interesting.
If you keep in mind, this is very Gotham City. This is very Batman. This is all normal. Yeah. And there would be a cop that like goes after the, like superheroes. Yeah. So he's like, how dare you fucking invite the guy who hunts like not only my kind, but your kind into our apartment. And she's like, well, whatever, because they'll do whatever she wants.
Yeah. So she's like, it's not a problem.
She's feeding like the cops and the detectives all these lies, like Eli, he changes his name, by the way. He changes his name to Eli Ever because it sounds cooler. Lame. But Victor, his name is Victor Vale. Like, that's his actual name, but it already sounds cool.
That's hot.
I know! So, she is like, Eli's a hero. Like, Eli Ever is a hero. Like, she's like feeding these like lies to the cops. And so now all the cops are on his side. So now Eli has access to the database of all these EOs that the police have tracked down and like their files. So now it's easier for Eli to go out and hunt them. So Victor's plan is to get Mitch to hack into the police database and find all these people so he can find them before Victor finds them. Or before Victor is going to find them before Eli finds them too, so they can meet up and fight to the death.
And does that happen?
So skip forward a little bit. There's like some like other things that happen of Victor just being a badass of like, I'm going to kill one of the cops. That's going to get me noticed, right? If one of like the detectives on the like case like goes missing because I killed them, and then Sydney brings them back to life and then I kill them again. Oh my God. Crazy. So they find this one guy who is like the ex-military guy who has powers now because he got blown up by a bomb. And his power is like going invisible and like kind of breaking through time. Like it's like a cool little power.
That's dope.
And so Eli's like stalking him because he finds out that the military man like goes to this one bar in town like every night at 9 to like have a drink. But Victor's already intercepted this. And so now they're going to meet. Victor set a meeting point that they're going to meet and fight to the death. So that they end up at the meeting point. They fight to the death. And Victor doesn't make it.
But
the ending scene, the last chapter is Mitch, Sydney, and the dog going to Victor's grave and digging him up and bringing him back to life.
I was like, he's not
dead. I was like, there's no way. I almost cried. I was like, they can't kill him. But the last line is, a moment later, the cold ran up her arms and caught her breath, and beneath her hands a heartbeat fluttered as Victor Vale opened his eyes and smiled. Like the found family trope in this went berserk.
But Eli's still out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is a second book, but it doesn't really focus on them. It's like a new person, so I don't really care.
That was crazy. That was wild. We were twisting, we were turning, we were doubling back.
Yeah. It's a great book. Also, he's on the cover. He's right there. Oh. In his trench coat.
Yeah, I'm not going to read that, but that was incredible.
I knew, like, this sounds bad. Like, I knew, like, it just wasn't, like, a...
No, that's
your your level. Like, not level, but...
Like, not like a topic I'm, like, interested in.
Yeah. But I'm glad I got to explain it to you. Because it was so comic book. Like, it was so, like...
No, that's really cool.
Like, people use this word to describe, like, this book a lot, like, this universe, but it's, like, gritty. Like, it's very Gotham City, which I like superhero movies. Like, I like the Marvel movies. But I would never read something like that. But this really opened my eyes to the world of Victor Vale.
I love, like, I think that's just such a unique, like, concept and, like, plot. Like, that's really cool. I do like that.
Yeah.
I love when authors do something, like, fun and unique.
Yeah.
Slay. Well, now we can get into...
Oh my God. Yes!
Finally!
Yes! I did perhaps read, like, the tiniest little bit.
No, you're good.
Like 10 pages.
You're fine. I'm there. I'm ready. I've been ready. After this, I can't wait to read Vow of Thieves.
That was also right there, too. Oh my, really there's excited. Just... There's so much to read.
It's
And I'm
stressing me
so
out, but like
it's
it's not that serious.
It's not that serious, but like in the best way, I'm stressed out.
In the best way, there's simply not enough hours. But I
Oh,
can't
what did
wait to
I?
be in my just
I'm just seeing if I
oh,
wrote anything.
I can't wait to just be in my like I'm reading 7 million books this summer. I don't know why in the summer there's just like more time to read. I don't know why. There's not, but there is. Well,
I wrote. I just have one quote from Vicious that I totally forgot about.
oh okay, I want to hear it.
This is Victor talking. His murders weren't like golf or porn or poker, some stereotypical male hobby. Like, not you comparing your murders to like things that men do on the weekend.
It's just a
Like,
hobby.
it's just a hobby. I was like, I love him.
So I'm never
He's
going to
very
complain
Death
about
Eater
men
Draco.
having hobbies again because one of their hobbies could be murder.
Yeah. And
Why
I'm
don't
okay
men
with
have
that.
hobbies and they just kill people?
Yeah, they kill people for fun. Like, at least he has a job.
See the job. I
Not
feel
really.
um like I don't know why, but like boy book talkers keep popping up on my
Ew,
like
ew,
book
ew.
talk. But
Mm-mm,
like
mm-mm. You can't read.
like there's this one I have to find him, but like people like he's like an Amazon front or he like is like a PO box or something, and people like
Mm-hmm.
send them their favorite books for him to read, and he's like, I just want to thank you so much for sending me this book. Can't wait to read it. Like he just seems so unenthusiastic, but like at the same time so grateful, and it cracks me up.
Is he gay? Not that he
No.
needs to. No. Okay.
Mm, I don't even know what to type in for
Mm.
that. When he pops up again, I'll send it to you.
Mm. Oh,
But it's
this is
just so
Victor and Eli,
funny.
by the way. That's Eli.
Ooh,
He has like
slay.
dark hair and glasses.
I love that they just have an ultimate rivalry. And for what?
And for what? Like a science project?
Why are you bitter
Look.
after you gave yourself superpowers?
Look at them. That was
They're
so
just
cute.
friends.
They're just friends.
That actually reminds me a lot of oh, what was that like Aaron Taylor Johnson like superhero movie? Like old.
I don't
Before
know.
he was Aaron Taylor Johnson, he was just like Aaron Taylor or something.
Oh,
Hold on. Kick Ass.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Except in that one, they like fall in love at the end, and it's like you didn't need to do that.
Mm-hmm. I kind of, I was like, I'm glad that the like girl character in this is like a little kid.
That was cute.
It
Love
is
that.
cute.
Didn't read it, but I loved your retelling.
I
We had a
just
lot of
love
retellings
them.
today.
I like that.
No, I lived for it. It was great. Well, we'll see you next time, audience, and hopefully we'll have read this.
Hopefully, we'll have read some of it, like half. Well, what
Yeah,
I don't know when
probably.
we're speaking next,
Oh, I
but
like that little look at that little
the
skull.
skull. Yeah, I'm into the. Mine still has the like cover on it, but like
Oh yeah.
it's
I just
all.
take my cover off.
Yeah, I
Oh,
usually do when I actually read it, but like all the skulls, living
I
for
need
it.
to reorganize my bookshelf because they're starting to pile up, and it's
That
a
doesn't look good,
disaster
but
over there. So, okay. Bye.